We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
It's Kennedy, my brother from another mother. What's goody?
What's good, bro?
I'm starving.
You starving? Oh, see,
Starving.
a peek behind the curtain. I had to eat something before we got on, bro.
No,
I had some leftover. We went to Olive Garden yesterday.
Nasty Garden.
Stop! You sound like Layla. And I told Layla because I picked her up today, and I was like, "Look, I might have to stop and get you something to eat because we got leftover Olive Garden." She was like, "Ugh." I said, "See, that's exactly why we went prior to getting you, because we like, oh, we ain't got Layla. Shoot, we can go to Olive Garden today." So we went to Olive Garden.
I don't blame Layla, boy.
And I had them leftover ghost pepper wings from Popeyes too.
So let me ask you this though, bro. So
yeah,
you don't do the spicy, right?
Nah.
Is the ghost pepper wings, are they like, how do they taste as far as the flavor?
The flavor is great, and that was the thing. I wanted to try it for the fact of, because I only did like the 6 at first, you know what I'm saying, or the 5, whatever it comes with, and I'm like, all right, I just want to see how hot it is, but they weren't that bad. It was just flavor, right? But the second batch I had was pretty hot, but not. I don't think they would bother you at all. Like it would probably just be a flavor thing for you.
So this has always been my biggest thing about fried chicken is that you got to eat. To me, I always thought you got to eat it all up right away because it just don't quite have the same crunch unless you throw it in the air fryer or something like that afterwards.
Right.
Cool. But
yeah. That's what it is. You know, you throw it in the air fryer. It's kind of saving stuff. The only thing I haven't like tried back in the air fryer, and people be talking about it as French fries. Like I just can't bring myself to eat refried.
So let me tell you. So there's a place out here, man, that we go to, and so because they, it's like I got to go pick it up, and this is always my problem with getting takeout fries in particular is that they hot, so they got them in the box and they getting all steamy and everything, right? So then you get back to the crib and your fries ain't crunchy. I've actually had refried those kind of fries, but I haven't had cold fries. Now I think that I suppose it would be the same concept, but these are just hot. They're just steamed, but I just throw them on in there. Boom, they're good though. They hit just as good though, bro.
Okay. Are you the one that's got to eat the fries when they're in the bag, or you wait till you get home?
Listen, man, I eat my fries first before I eat anything else. So I might just eat my fries in the bag on the way home, and then I could eat whatever else. The only problem is that this place that we go to, this is like my go-to now for sandwiches, burgers, everything. But they give you so many fries, right? So it's like half of your box, your little styrofoam plate is filled up to the brim with fries, though, bro. And it's just like so many of the but they're steamed because of the box, though, man. But I gotta eat my fries beforehand, so that's why when I put those in the air fryer, it's perfect because I can go ahead and my burger or whatever I got is still hot. I do the Phillies from them; they Phillies be slapping. But I can still get hot fries with my stuff, though, man. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think the biggest thing I put in the air fryer, for as far as bringing it back, I put a turkey leg from Six Flags in there.
See, okay, this is my dilemma that I'm in, right? So my dilemma that I'm in is that my go-to air fryer is a small one, and when I say it's my go-to one, it's one of the little small barrel joints, and it's only just a cup size that you got to do it. Now, this was funny. I had another air fryer. It just stopped working on. For some reason, I can't even explain why or whatever. Oh, the light would come on, and that's it. But the only problem is that one could do bigger things, right? Like I could put chicken on in there, could do the whole 9 yards. But it just didn't give me that crispy like my little one would do. So it's like I couldn't put a turkey leg in this one because it's just too small.
I had one that I got from Groupon. That thing smoked up my house. That thing was terrible, bro. It wasn't until I got the one from Walmart. I think I don't know if it's a Ninja one or not. I'm not sure, but it's one that I got from Walmart, and I've been straight ever since. So I had to stop cheaping on out and go ahead and get one. So yeah,
I want to get me one with my boy. What's my boy? Emerald, yeah. So I want to get me one of those, but I almost think that the one that I had was an Emerald one, but it was a pass down. So I don't know, man, but I know for sure that I want to get me another one just because while this one, like my wings slap in this one, but they have to be the kind that's the bag wing. I couldn't do the raw. And so I want to get me one where I can go ahead and do it that way though, man. But I'm
surprised though, because you be talking about how you be TikToking all the time and people swear by cooking in the air fryer, bro. That's all I see is
yeah. I've seen people bake cakes in the air fryer. I've seen people do a lot of dope stuff, and I have as well. But I think that for just the stuff that we eat on the regular, you know what I'm saying? It's just that's what it is, though, man. But listen, I'll set on my old one that I had. I would set I would do like if I was gonna be doing something real quick, and let's say I wanted to do like quesadillas or whatever, I would still go ahead and throw my boneless chicken thighs in there on the rotisserie setting. Whip it on up, man. By 30 minutes, I think done. I'm chopping it on. It's such a fast, shortcut though, bro. Oh yeah, I absolutely love it though, man. But it just mine just went down on me, and I was like, all right, well, when I get into the new spot, bro, that's gonna be one of the first things I do.
Dog, this is what's crazy to me, right? Because I'm listening to us, right? We're open to the idea of air fryers and maybe even pressure cookers too, right?
Yeah.
My aunt gave my mom an air fryer, and I think somebody else gave her a pressure cooker. She refuses to cook in them. Like, she like, nah, that ain't real cook. Like, she can't do it. And I'm thinking, bro, you think our kids, like when Landon turns 21, right? Because there's another thing that came out. They got the washer dryer combo where it's one unit where you wash clothes and dry it in the same unit, right? Now you think when Landon turns about
that would be kind of weird. So that would be kind of weird to me.
Same. Where it's like I can't do that, right? But look, when he turned like 25, bro, it's probably gonna be houses that don't even have ovens, bro, because they're gonna be just cooking in air fryers and pressure cookers and only having the one unit.
So you do, yeah. So you can nowadays, and I've seen ovens that come with the conventional ovens and also the air fryer that's built in it already, though, man. And so I'd imagine that what I'm saying, if you paying for it, then yeah, you would get it already built in. But yeah, like it's interesting too, man. I've never cooked with a pressure cooker, but I do want to try it. And I guess there are three things that I've always wanted to cook with, right? A rice maker, a bread maker, and a pressure cooker. I've always wanted to make my own like artisan bread, bro. I think it's one of the coolest things to be able to whip up your own loaf of bread.
Well, there's TikTok stories for days on making bread, bro.
Oh yeah. There's this little
Go ahead.
No, there's this. So for some reason, I follow this little Italian old lady, man. She got to be about 80 years old, though, man. This little Italian lady named Nona. I don't know her last name, but she has all the recipes that she does. She's like, she got her grandson, who does her videos and everything. You hear him talking, and she's doing everything authentically the way that they did in Sicily before she came to the States and everything. And so that's one of the things that she does is bake. She doesn't use a bread machine, but she has her own bread recipe that she does. It's cold though, bro. And once I saw that, I said, yeah, I gotta go ahead and I gotta do something, man.
My brother-in-law made some greens in the pressure cooker.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I would love to see how long does it actually take to what kind of a difference we talking about in the pressure cooker?
Oh yeah, it cut some time. I'd have to ask him. Matter of fact, let me see if I just want to see if he'll answer the phone.
Because I was watching Beat Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
And somebody wound up cooking something. Somebody cooked like some they did braised short ribs.
Yeah.
And they wound up putting them in the pressure cooker, whipped it up fast. So bro, I said, yo. By the way, I can watch Beat Bobby Flay all day long though, bro.
Me too, bro. Knowing him, he probably at work.
Your call has been.
Yeah, I figured he was probably at work. But hey, real quick, bro, you was telling me about some dish that you have at Panera Bread. What's up with that?
Oh yeah. So at Panera Bread, bro, they got this new baguette sandwich out there. It's toasted baguette, so it's like some kind of cheese, but it's called the Green Goddess. It's the Green Goddess Capri sandwich. I think it's some chicken on it, bro, but I never even really taste it. Ain't like a bunch of chicken though, right? So I barely taste the chicken. But one of the things that's crazy is that they got this little aioli sauce that comes on, and it's just clean. I mean, I'm talking about with the melted cheese and the aioli on it. It's slap though, right? And every time I go there, I always like to get a soup, but I want my soup to be in the bread bowl, right? So I went to some years ago, man. I went to San Francisco. Out in San Francisco, you go out to the Fisherman's Wharf, and on the wharf they got a place where you could get clam chowder out there. And the clam chowder comes in this big old bread. I mean, this bowl about this big though, bro. You pull the top out of it, and it's just they fill it on up with chowder. And ever since then, every chance I see a sourdough opportunity to get a bowl, I do. So I try to do that. But it's one of the sandwiches that they have that slap. Every time I've had it, though, it never disappoints. So, bro.
Yeah, that's what's up. I see. I'm a McAllister's guy though. Like I Sarah likes Panera Bread, and she'll send me there every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, and I like the little flatbread pizzas that they have out there. And of course, you know, mostly people go there for the bagels or whatever, but
yeah,
not really outside the breakfast stuff with them. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but McAllister's is right there, so it's just like I just prefer to go to McAllister's.
So back in the day, I don't know if they still do it now, but back in the so McAllister's, they have one here. It's just the closest one that I've seen is just so far from me, right? But I remember Panera used to do muffins in the morning where they had this specific muffin that was called a cobblestone muffin, where it was real lumpy. It had like the outside of it. It was lumpy where you can peel the lumps off and you know eat it that way though. And then they had like this little streusel crunch on it. Slap. What's wild about it is that I went by there the other day and I was like, yeah, y'all don't have the cobblestones anymore. And this girl was so young, right, that she didn't even know what I was talking about. Right? They had two people at the drive-thru. I said, yeah, y'all used to have the cobblestones where you can peel it off and you eat it like that. And they was like, no. And I said, when was the last time you had? I said, I'm gonna be honest. It had to have been maybe 15 years since I've had one. The girl said, well, I'm only 17 years old. So I was like, 2 years old, what happened? So they had to actually Google it. They had to Google to see what I was talking about. They was like, no, we don't have those, but that do look like it would taste good though, bro. But they were called cobblestone muffins though, bro. And they used to slap. And they used to have one by my old job, and I would go there and get coffee in the morning or get my chai tea latte from there, and I would have the cobblestone muffin, and they were big too though, bro. And now all they got is like blueberry, and it's just like, yeah. But they bagels still slap though.
Yeah, they do. Bro, what was the movie you just recently saw? Did you go see something by yourself?
No, I was gonna go by myself.
When you supposed to go see what, Guardians or something?
We saw Guardians. Guardians was the last movie I saw.
Okay, but what was you gonna go see though?
So there was two other movies that I still want to go see. I still want to go see Fast and Furious. You saw it already, or you not seeing it? Okay, so I want to see Fast and Furious, and I want to see my boy Ciso or whatever it is. Suso.
Yes, Sisu.
Sisu. Yeah. I want to see those. But those are the only two movies that are left. And this is the thing, I'm running. It's like I'm almost, not that I'm running out of time. I got some opportunities here to go ahead and watch them, but I think that I don't know. I don't think I was gonna go see Guardians by myself, and then hold on. I did go see Guardians by myself. I just realized that. Yeah. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you a funny story about Guardians. I did go see it by myself.
He needs some milk.
Oh my gosh. I didn't tell you this, and I'm glad I didn't tell you this because I'm gonna say this. This is good. This is good content for the pod. So beat this. Okay, so I'm walking in to go to the movies, and I'm just a hair late, but they paid 20 minutes worth of previews, so I'm cool. Okay, so what's crazy about it, when I'm walking out, I see this dude who's leaving the movie theater, and while I'm coming in, I was like, all right, cool. He looks down. I have some J's on. He was like, yo, them fire, whatever. Quick conversation. I appreciate it. They old. I said, yeah, old. I said, yeah, he's like 10 years old. Boom. Let's say my True Blues, Jordan 1s, right? So oddly enough, it's like, cool, real quick conversation. So I go into the movie theater. Now, mind you, I got my ticket, but by the time I looked, the movie was fairly open, seats everywhere. And then at the last minute, I got my ticket. It looked like it filled on up, right? So I got some seats, and I was a single seat. So my single seat was in between a few other seats. It looked like couples had bought seats or whatever, right? So I fool around and I go and sit in my seat because I saw that the two other seats on my right side, they were empty. So I was thinking maybe the people are going to go ahead and come at some point though, right? So sitting next to me, right, is this girl, right? And she looked kind of fly. I'm not going to even cap, right? So she's sitting here solo dolo, right? And if you didn't know any better, bro, you would thought that we were on a date here, bro. It's like you would think that we were a couple sitting next to each other, right? So this is the funny part about this, though, bro. So I'm sitting here. Soon as I sit down, my food's already coming there and everything like that. And I guess homeboy whoever she was with is going to go see what's up because he wasn't there. And you could tell somebody was there. It just so happened to be the dude that I was talking to on the way into the movies, though, right? But this is where it gets funny because I guess when he comes there, he sees me and her sitting next to each other, like looking like we could almost be a couple because the seats are kicked back, right? It's the dine-in joints. So we sit here, kicked back, and mind you, there are 4 empty seats next to me on the right side, assigned. So eventually the 2 people came to fill, but there were still 2 other seats next to me that they apparently didn't come on over there. But when you walk up, he see that. So this is what I thought was funny. What was funny about it is when he sit down, he trying to make it a point to put his arm around his girl and everything. So I hear her say, oh, now you want to, now you want to get Buddha. And I guess they kind of looked like they had their own because she wasn't really saying much, but it still looked kind of weird because they were together and I'm sitting next to her, just her though, right? And nobody else. So at some point I'm thinking like, all right, I might want to move over, but I don't know. Maybe the people going to show up or whatever. So the whole time I'm sitting here, it's like I'm sitting solo dolo and they're on the date and they're not really saying much at all though, man. But it was just kind of funny because she basically made it seem like, oh, you trying to cuff me now that you see this dude on over here. He already saw I had to fly kicks and everything though, bro. So he was like, it was a weird, awkward situation while we were at the movie because I was sitting there solo though, bro. It was hilarious though, man.
So what would you actually think of the movie though?
I thought the movie was great, bro. I thought that the movie itself, so I look at it in several ways, right? I thought for a Marvel movie, bro, it goes straight to my top 5. right? Straight to my top 5. It's somewhere like for me, like Black Panther, Winter Soldier, Endgame, Infinity Wars, and then it's probably number 5, right off the cuff. And I got it higher than Black Panther 2, very easily higher than Black Panther 2. And if I had to put it on a scale, the only reason why I wouldn't give it a flat out 9 is because I think that Black Panther 1 to me is a 10. I think that Winter Soldier is a 10. And so because it's not above Endgame, it just can't be equal. Like all of them can't be. So just by default, 8.5, maybe 9. I thought I was very thoroughly entertained by it the whole time. Loved everything about it, bro.
Where you have Civil War?
No bad. I don't Civil War might it's in the 10, but it's below this. I like this better than Civil War. If this is 5, Civil War like 6.
Yeah, that's hard one for me because I like Civil War a lot.
Oh, and get this. I actually have I watched it recently. There was a Iron Man that you hated that I watched it and I said, yeah, I think I like it too, though.
Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3.
It was 3. I watched 3 and I was like, okay, I like it better. I saw it again recently. It was on TV and I was like, yeah, all right, it's straight. I sat and watched it all the way through and was entertained by it. But yeah, I got this Guardians high. I got this Guardian, and maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment because it's so fresh. But yeah, I got it above Civil War. But I like Civil War a lot, so it's a close 6.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Oh, not ask you this. So I told you I saw Fast 10. So what it was that Charlie ended up going to spend the night at Mama's house. And so Sarah was like, yo, and we was on the pod, matter of fact. And she hit me up. She said, yo, we kid free date night? And I said, yes, right? So she get back to the crib. And so I'm like, well, look, since we got date night, we ain't got nothing really to do. How about we go to the movie and we can eat at the movie? She was like, bet. Picked up the movie tickets. Boom. We go out to see Fast 10. Bro, that movie was trash, bro.
No.
Wait, let me ask you this. Did you like Fast 9?
Not a lot, bro. Not a lot. No, I thought that
if you didn't like 9, let me hear why you didn't like 9, and I'll tell you that'll help me.
Okay, so I didn't, for some reason, I just didn't love how John Cena was brought into it. I like the idea. It was weird. I think that was it was just I don't know, man. Like I just didn't like I didn't like that they were on the moon. Like it just didn't seem like here's the thing. What I love. Oh, I got a question for you also about this one that I'm gonna ask you. I saw this on TikTok. But what I loved about the early on Fast and Furious is that I love how realistic they seem. Like I like that it was about the racing, right? And I like that the tricked out cars. I've always loved the cars aspect of it. But I thought that these later editions of it got away from the cars and it was about the adventure or the mission, right? And so some of the stuff just started to not be realistic. But I'll tell you what I say with that. So where like case in point, right? When Dom was fighting my boy Handsome Rob, right? And when they're fighting, and Dom just stomped the ground, and and his stomp was so much power that it made the whole thing collapse. Like that was just like it started to be like not as realistic. And when I say not realistic, it just didn't seem real. It was so much so about the CGI that. So then fast forward, where it comes on to the last one is that they took that to the extreme And I just didn't like it. I didn't like that it was of all the movies, it seemed to me to be less about the cars though, bro.
Charles, this movie is a superhero film, bro. It is
Yeah, I see that's 9 was more like that too.
right. And this one is right there, the same place.
No.
Listen, all I must tell you is this. I'm just gonna tell you this. Crane. Just know crane. Crane. So when you see a crane in the movie, then you will bust out laughing because you'll know what I'm talking about. But you
See,
said you had a question about TikTok?
I got a question that somebody says. Somebody made a point on TikTok that all outside of the first Fast and Furious, all of the other ones are redundant or irrelevant. They said this because they said of all of the movies, how many quotables, how many lines do you remember from Fast and Furious outside of the first one?
You don't, because here's the thing, right? The more and more that Vin Diesel became the executive producer, the more creative control he has, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Fast 10 script feels like he wrote it before they shot it. Like, as in, like, we got to do another movie. Don't even worry about it. We'll just figure it out when we there.
See, this is the thing about it. All the quotes. So to me, all the quotable lines to me were in 1 and 2, right? So like I still remember like when they say when Paul Walker and Tyrese, when he was like, he learned that from me, right? You know what I'm saying? When they was doing the ride backwards. And then I still remember when they at the end, when they said, we ain't hungry no more, cuz. And he had to, when both of them had the money wrapped around, I thought that was the part that was funny to me, to hear Paul Walker say cuz like that, though, bro. Yeah, so yeah. That was the last time when they was like outside of the first one, all of the quotables that you would say, you know, like Dom saying, you know, I live my life, you know, 1 mile at a time, and all that other stuff, though, bro. All the dope lines are from that. They was just like, yo, everything after the first one is redundant. And maybe you're a fan of the franchise, and I am. I'm a big fan of the franchise. But yeah, it's just they were just saying that it's just lackluster. But I think that probably
it very much is though.
To me, the ones that I thought where I started to just get lost in being wowed by it was probably right after they were in Brazil. When The Rock was introduced to it. That was the last one. And it was that the same one when my girl died? Gail Gadot. I'm
sure either that or 6.
So it was either 5 or 6 when she died, right? And when she fell off the plane, came out busting. I was like, okay, everything was dope. Tyrese shot down, like you said, shot down the plane. That was dope. But I think that outside of that, though, man, it started to come. Like then there was that one that I thought was still okay. Was when Shaw was on there. When the boy Handsome Rob got on there, I thought that then it just started to go toward, like you said, more superhero than it, because again, it became less about the cars, though, to me.
Facts. And there's only a few car scenes in here. When I say car scenes, like the traditional, what you're looking for.
Yeah, I love the old school. I love the tricked out, cars. Like it was all about the cars, and that to me was the thing that I really enjoyed the most. Like I still want to get lights under the Bel Air because of the Fast and Furious 1 or 2. I'm sorry, I still want to be able to get the lights on my truck because of that. Like it was just like I don't know, man, but it's less about that, and I enjoyed that about them though.
Yeah, well, if that's the way you feel, brother, you probably gonna be in the same. We gonna finally have the same score for a movie.
I might just, you know what though, bro? I might just try to slip out and go see that tomorrow, man.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? It's like you said, I'm a fan of the franchise. I don't care how whack the movies are. I'm probably still gonna go see them. But yeah, this one was just like I said. This is how I said the whole movie.
I might go. I might. You know what it is? I might see if Neat want to go see. She got something that she's gonna be doing on Saturday. We doing a lot of packing outside of that. But Sunday, I think that we might try to take a little break, go see it. I think I'm gonna see what's up though, man. It should be pretty open now for the movie. So yeah. Just like that. You said it's trash though.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. The best thing about it was Jason Momoa.
Really? I got to see what's up, man. I do like this theory though that they've tossed around about the idea of bringing back the girl Gail Gadot, because just like with the boy, you never actually see him die. You never see her die. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what you think.
Yeah, but before that though, the one that I saw was my boy John Wick. And that one was one I thoroughly enjoyed that from beginning to end. Loved everything about it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah.
So, bro, let's get into some of this basketball news we got going on. First of all, before we actually talk about the finals. So first of all, the commissioner basically said, like, look, we already know what it is with Ja. We just gonna wait till after the finals because we don't want to, take away from what they got going on. But he basically said, man, they did a bunch of investigation and found more stuff.
I told you, bro, he's gonna get at least. I was thinking at a minimum 25 games, a minimum of 25 games. Yeah. But here's the thing, though, man. I think that if the NBA is as thorough as the NFL is with their background checks for pre-draft, I think that they would have done their due diligence. And like I said, I think 25 games would be the minimum. I think that you could see half the season.
I was just about to say half the season for me, because you got to give him the punishment and you got to give him the punishment for it being this early of a second offense. So I could easily say I'm thinking half the season.
I think that this is the way I look at it, right? I think that by doing this one, I think that for one, you send the message, right? And maybe he is the one that you set the example on. But I think that this is the thing about it. I think that a lot of times with these guys, I think that you hurt them in the pockets, right? Because he just got the big contract. And this is the thing. The reason why I say that you hurt him with games, because they're not going to be the same team without Ja Morant, right? Not the same threat. So then he has to watch his team for 41 games or whatever that might is, just watch them not be as good, watch them struggle. Because listen, they had a pretty good record without him, right? But I just don't think that that's something that you can sustain over a full season. But I think the other part about that, though, bro, is just that the same way how this past season he had the suspension, and because he had the suspension, it basically called for him to not make the All-NBA team, which meant that he wouldn't be as eligible for the super duper max bonus. And I think this is another one of those years where he will not qualify for All-NBA honors. And so I think that outside of just him getting the 40-something games, I think that that's what I mean, that you get hit in the wallet. It's that aspect of it where you're costing yourself long-term money. I think it also calls the question, like, what does Nike do then if you're saying you got a shoe deal with a guy who's not able to play? So, yeah.
Super unfortunate, bro.
Yeah, very unfortunate, though, man. I want to root for Ja Morant so bad, bro. Like, I want to root for him so bad.
I'm not going to turn my back on the kid because, again, to me, he's a kid. In my opinion, he's Latarius, right?
Yeah.
And just like I wouldn't turn my back on my son if he went through some stuff, I'm going to let him bump his head and I'm going to let him feel the effects of bumping his head. But I still am going to try to guide him because he still has a lot of life to live and he has a lot of career left to play if he can get it together. So I'm not going to turn my back on him and just dump on him, but he do need to learn his lesson.
Yeah, I agree.
So right now it's reported that the Suns is looking at bringing Frank Vogel in as their head coach.
Hey, listen, man. I don't know if this is an upgrade. Okay. I suppose, right, that this should be looked at as an upgrade on your coaching, right? The reason why I say that is because, for one, regardless, you can't take away that Frank Vogel is a championship winning coach, right? So I think that while that's the case, like I'm at least glad. I'm not gonna say glad. I don't want to even say that. There's this cycle that it seems to be, right, of Doc Rivers' name always being floated out there, right? But Budenholzer out there. Did Nick Nurse already get
Yes,
a job?
that's our next conversation.
So there are this rotating cycle of guys, right? That always got these jobs. So even with that said, I thought, listen, with all things considered, Doc Rivers has been riding this one championship for a long time. I mean, Doc Rivers has been riding because you think that you let some people tell it. Doc Rivers' coaching career started with the Celtics, right? And they disregard his time with Orlando to get to that point. And then that one championship, he's been able to ride that out through the Clippers. He's been able to ride that out and parlay that into the Sixers. And he's been able to ride it. So I think that it's fair that the boy Frankie V, who's known for defense, right? That one ring should at least afford him the same level of cachet that a Nick Nurse would, or that a Bud Buddha, all those one championship winning coaches. So I'm not mad at it. He's a defensive coach, and at the end of the day, when they needed defense, they couldn't. So I don't know. So I guess it's an upgrade though to me. Everybody seems to like Monty Williams. Yeah. But I think that you got a championship winning coach, so I think that should be looked at as an upgrade though.
Speaking of Monty Williams, while we brought him up, he accepted a 5-year deal. 6-year deal in Detroit.
You got the bag.
What was that? What, 78?
78. So he is right at about $13 million a year, $13.5 a year. That's not bad for a guy who just got fired.
Right.
Yeah. And not just that though, right? So the one thing that you can tell how well respected he has to be around the league. But the big thing is this though, man. I think that it says a lot about how other teams and people around the NBA view him and his work with younger players, because Detroit's all young. Like the oldest player is like 25 years old, and it's like Marvin Bagley, and even he hasn't been what the NBA thought that he would have been coming out of Duke. He was like the number 2 or number 3 draft pick, and I mean he was traded from the Kings, and they didn't re-up him on his rookie deal. So it's a weird thing. So I can at least respect that they gave him a 6-year deal because it is a rebuild. I don't know, man. Listen, if he rebuilds Detroit to make them something that's watchable, one, what I'd hate to see is him get them up there, and in year 5, they get to that edge, and then they say, all right, we're going to let you go and bring in another coach to get us over, to think that they can get him over the hump, though, bro. So I hope that they see it all the way through, though. But I'm glad he got that bag, though.
Yep. So moving on, Mark Nurse accepted the position with the 76ers.
Whipped them and then went and said, I'm going to show you how to do it.
And they asked him the question. Look, bro, just cut the chase. Do you want James Harden back or not? And at first he gave the political answer. He was like, James is a good player. He said, nah, bro, that ain't what I asked you. And that ain't what I asked you. Do you want him to come back? And so he basically said, look, James got a decision to make. He's still a great player, and I would love for him to come back. But basically, I think earlier on when they was talking about the team, he basically was like, look, he got to want to win. And so if he want to win, we would want him to come back. But basically saying like, look, if he decide to leave, then that means he ain't want to win. Because, you know, the front runner to get him back is Houston.
They got the better strip clubs. Who got better strip club? He's gonna have to come. Atlanta,
Vegas.
We talked about that. Vegas. But listen, if I'm Nick Nurse, you say that, but reading in between the lines, I'd be like, I'm good if you don't come back.
That's exactly 100%.
Right.
You
So
could tell the first way he answered it was like, James is a good player. That's how he. Yeah.
See, so you do read in between the lines. There, he didn't say what he said.
I didn't have to read between the lines because he didn't say he wanted him back. That was the question. So until the dude followed up with the question is when he finally ended with, "I'd like to see him come back." But it wasn't like in the beginning. When he asked him the question, he didn't answer that he wanted him back. So there was no reading between the lines. He didn't say he wanted him back.
Here's the thing, though. If I'm them, right, I would tell you that I would be cool with letting James Harden go. And I think the only problem is this. I don't know who you get to fill his spot that's available. These days, it seems like in these NBAs, like it feels like everybody's available. It don't matter what contract they own. But here's what I think would work. You know what I think would work in Philly, bro? I think if you get Joel Embiid, this is gonna sound crazy. You get Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. I think if you don't get James Harden, I think that you could get rid of Tobias Harris. And I think if you put Paul George on Philly, I like them to be able to get out of the East, bro. And the reason why I say that is because I think that Paul George is a better version of what I think that in the position anyway of Tobias Harris. But I also think that he gives you the same kind of scoring. I think that it gives you the better defense in the playoffs. And then I also think that when it comes down to it, it allows Tyrese Maxey to really be what I think Tyrese Maxey can really become, bro. So I think you get rid of James Harden, but then it's just like, well, who do you get now? What do you think about the idea of them trying to go after Jaylen Brown?
Nah, I don't have a problem with that. But this is what I would do. I'm trading Tobias Harris, and I'm trading Maxey for Damian Lillard. I think that at this point, Dame is already kind of entertaining the idea of him leaving.
I think he is.
So the thing is, you got to show them good faith that you're willing to give up something. Everybody knows they're going to be asking for Tyrese, for Maxey. So especially because they're rebuilding anyway in Portland, you already got a nice little young nucleus over there. And you put your boy over there for veteran presence. You get Dame and you build around Dame and Embiid.
Listen, I think that the only problem is this, right? If you trade Tyrese Maxey, right, then I think that that's cool, but I think that you run into the issue where it's not the Portland's problem is that at the end, Tyrese Maxey and Anthony Simons are small guards. They basically play the same position and the same way, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I think. But then they also have the number 3 pick, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that they pretty much have to get Scoot Henderson if he's still there, right? If not, they get Brandon Miller, which I think would be a better fit for that group that you're talking about. But I think that it's just weird because I think that Scoot Henderson is a Tyrese Maxey, is also an Anthony Simons. I agree. I think that Dame there looks cold. But
the thing is the 76ers are going to be looking to win now. Like they're not ready for a rebuild. So I understand that, just like, you think about like Golden State, right? Because, they might be even entertaining getting rid of Jordan Poole, right? But when originally they were looking to keep him for the future. But 76ers is not looking for the future. They need to win now. So if you can get Dame and it's going to cost you those two,
let me
You
ask
gotta
you
do
this: since you brought up Golden State.
it.
Okay, I think Golden State is after this season. I think that they're officially getting old after this season. And the
Okay.
only reason why I say that, I mean, and not this season, this current season, I'm talking about next season, right? The only reason why I say that is because I'm going to give Clay the benefit of the doubt and say that he's going to be a full 2 years off of his injuries, right? And I think that the same way how Chris Paul eventually rebounded off of his, I think that that's what it's going to take a full 2 years to completely recoup. And I think that Klay Thompson was never the super athlete or relied on athleticism, so I think that he'll be just fine. When you can shoot it, you can shoot it at the end of the day. But what do you think that Golden State needs to be able to do to stay in win now mode?
They need to bring somebody over. Now, you talked about this earlier. They need to go after a Jaylen Brown, or they need to go after a Paul George. That's what would help them. And again, Paul George is old too, so maybe Jaylen Brown more so. I would do that for Jordan Poole.
I would do that for Jordan Poole and Kuminga
Yeah.
and Jordan Poole and a draft pick for Jaylen Brown. I would do that at the drop of a dime.
Right. So those are the type of moves they're going to have to do. They're going to have to get some, because the thing is that all you need to do is keep somebody, because Steph, even though he's getting older, Steph hasn't lost a step.
I don't think Steph has lost any step. And listen,
No. Ever since he got his ankles together, he's been straight.
And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you though, man. I think that people are ready to give up on Draymond faster than what I think. Because listen, I'm gonna be honest. I think now that the minute that you decide that you're going to give up on Draymond, then you blow the whole thing up. Because to be quite honest with you, I just don't think that the Warriors, as we know and see them, are the same without Draymond. Because even though people say, oh yeah, his impact isn't quite what it is. Because when you look at his playoff numbers, they're pretty decent. They're right along the lines of what he typically would do. It's just you do them and I just think that in the end, their identity looks a lot different as a defensive team if you don't have Draymond. And to me, I think that when you get Clay at 100%, right, and you say you're going to give him another year and you get Steph being Steph, I just think that Draymond's defense to me is what makes them the Warriors, right? It makes everything work. And I just don't know how you replace that. So the minute you replace him, then you blow the whole thing up. To me, when you do that, you get rid of everybody except for Steph.
Now, I definitely think Draymond showed his value again this year, and how he can affect the team. So I definitely would look to bring him back. But somebody's gonna have to come. Somebody's gonna have to do something salary wise, and it ain't gonna be Steph. Steph
you
has
get
done
rid of
that.
Jordan Poole just because they say he paid $500,000 to go on that date with Ice Spice, bro. That's enough to get rid of him, bro.
Yeah. Of course, everybody been talking about Brandon Ingram.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Listen, man, I would be trying to get Brandon. If you're saying that contracts aside, that players are just available, even if they're under contract, absolutely. I think that if I'm the Warriors, I would include Jordan Poole in a package. Jordan Poole and Kuminga for BI, I would go for it too.
Hey, at this point, I would even put your boy in there, Aaron Wiggins.
Oh,
if I'm
I would,
BI,
you know what? I would as well. As well.
Yeah.
I think that you know what it is. I think that if you get you somebody like because Wiggins be guarding the best players because Clay.
I understand, but again, if we're talking about, obviously, I would try first with Jordan Poole and Kuminga. But if it's not gonna work, you know what I'm saying? Then I got at the point I gotta keep Steph, Clay, and Draymond. And if I can add BI to that and then get a better bench or whatever, you got to make the moves, bro.
I would do that as well, man. I would do that. I like BI game, bro. I like him.
Lastly, before we get into the finals, what you think the Lakers is gonna do? Because obviously we keep hearing Kyrie. Recently I heard Trae Young. Those are the big ones that I heard.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't care. I don't care because this is the thing. It doesn't matter who. And listen, it doesn't matter who else they have. you'll still be able to say the same thing. If AD don't get hurt, if AD comes to play, if he plays like a top 5 talent, it still doesn't change. So as long as they have him, I think that all of that they'll always be a team where they could win it, right? But they could also get beat by anybody. So I don't know.
Okay, just quick question about the Lakers. Do you think James Harden would have been a better fit than D'Angelo Russell?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, better fit. Now, with that being said, if you get James Harden on your team, you're not winning the championship. I just feel like he's one of those guys who, at the end of the day, will be one of those. He's destined to be one of those great players to not win a championship.
Ain't it crazy? Ain't it crazy how easy the tides have turned to where Russell Westbrook has a better looking future than James Harden does coming up?
I don't. No, I don't. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that Russ does.
Why not?
I don't. So this is the reason why. The reason why I don't think that he does, because here's the thing. I think that what James Harden did is bought himself more time, right? More years, because I think that the minute that James Harden went from being able to average 30-something points a game to then being able to switch to be able to lead the league in assists, I think that you can add the assist to any team because he has low turnovers when he does the assist. And I think that at a minimum, he'd still be able to give you 20 on the dot. So 20 and 10 goes to any team, right? And I think that just the minute that he was able to give you more assists, I thought that bought him more longevity. But I think that, like I said, you can put him on any team and it'll fit as long as you don't need him to show up when it matters the most.
Right. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about options, right? Because the problem that people thought Russ was washed when he went to the Lakers. When he went to the Clippers, now there are teams actually vying to get him. And I get it. It might not be like, obviously, if the Heat want him, and Chicago didn't do terrible, but they want him. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying they want him to still do the things that he's capable of doing. James Harden can't give you them points every single night.
Let me tell you what I think will happen. Let me tell you what I think. Look, bro, I don't think Russ can give you them points every single night like that.
So you saying what he did at the Clippers was a fluke?
No, I don't think that it's a fluke. But I'm saying I don't think that Russ can give that to you every night. Not every night. Listen, you know where I can see James Harden going?
Where?
I can actually see James Harden going to the Knicks.
Okay, I thought you was fixing to fix your lips to say the Thunder, and I'd be like, Sam.
No, I can see James Harden going to, because listen, Jalen Brunson is there, and Jalen Brunson can play more of a shooting guard and not have to necessarily, like the same way how Luka technically is a point guard, right? I think that Jalen Brunson plays more of a shooting guard. Jalen Brunson is the clear closer. I think that you get James Harden out there, and he doesn't have the expectations of closing in the big games. And then I think that at that point, you can let go RJ Barrett, or you can let go Julius Randle, one of them boys who wasn't giving you.
Why you gonna let Julius Randle go though, man?
I just, listen, man. I think Julius Randle's cool, but I mean, listen, man. There's some times where I watch Julius Randle and I think, bro, that dude is great. And then I'm thinking, like, how the hell
inconsistent? He's inconsistent, but I'm
so inconsistent, bro. Though. But the one thing that he's consistent at is being inconsistent, though, bro. And I think that for what he's getting paid, I just think that there are other points. Like, put this, I would take him out, and I would put Christian Woods in his place any day, because at least he's consistent. If you give him the rock enough, I think that he'll give you a better return on the investment, though, bro. But I think that I can see James Harden on a team where he can contribute a lot. But not, and it's not about the contribution. It's he doesn't have to be expected to win you the game, a crucial game in the playoffs. And as long as that's the case, so I think that he's fine.
I think it's pretty tragic that we ain't even really celebrate the boy Melo like that on his retirement.
I do think. Listen, man, I got mixed feelings about Melo, bro. Because did you realize Melo's a top 10 scorer of all time?
Yeah.
He put up a lot of buckets, but I think the problem I've always had with Melo is that he's always seemed like a numbers mercenary. Like it doesn't matter where he goes. If you give him enough a shot of tips, he could give you 26 and 9 rebounds, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to result in a win, but he's just all. I'm just surprised that he's still not in the league because I just thought that you need that kind of pure scoring.
Facts. Somebody.
Like you don't think that Miami would need that kind of scoring when they were struggling to score against Boston.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that you could use that if you give them the green light.
Shoot, Miami needed them the other night.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm surprised with, though, bro.
Yeah. So getting into these finals, bro. What you think we looking at, bro? Because I already told you I thought it was gonna be a full sweep, no gentleman sweep, full sweep.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you this. I think that it's gonna be. I'm gonna go 6. Maybe 5 or 6. 5 or 6. I got the Nuggets winning. The reason why I say that is this: the Nuggets. The one thing I like about the Nuggets is that they're very consistent and they stay true to themselves, right? And I just think that, like, to me, this is the way I look at it. Ultimately, I think that if the Lakers would have played against Miami, I thought the Lakers would have beat Miami. But because the Nuggets beat the Lakers in grand fashion, I think ultimately they'll beat the Miami as well. I just think that Miami, the same way when I saw that they beat the Celtics at the crib, but the Celtics beat them on the fluky thing, I think that they're susceptible to lose at home. And Denver is a team that not just they can, but they will beat you at the home. The first chance you get, they'll do it. So from that regards, though, bro, yeah, I think that they'll win one game at the crib. Denver will come and win another game, and then they'll go ahead and do the confetti at the crib, bro.
Yeah. Yep. That was a lot, bro. What you got for the weekend? I know right now things is just pack is what y'all got going on, but what you got going on?
See my boxes though, man. I think that's really what I'm gonna be doing more of this weekend is packing on up. By the way, man, this is one thing that we didn't get a chance to talk about though, man. Listen, it just hurt my heart yesterday, bro, when I saw that DC Young Fly's girlfriend, mother of his kids, passed away the other day, man. Young age of 32 years old, though, bro. Yeah. And that's just, the thing that just blew me away is that about that, though, man, is one, how young 32 actually is, right? But the fact that they have 3 kids together, and you never know how things are behind closed doors, but they look like they were in genuine love from at least from the pictures, and you see what they put out there. And golly, it just hurt my heart to just. They were always one of those couples that I liked seeing. This is for some reason their stuff feel like more real than and it just. It hurt my heart though, bro.
And obviously the rumors out there as to why she passed was because she was getting some she had complications during some plastic surgery, which is really unfortunate when you're thinking like you're going in for something that's now pretty routine, and to not come out of that's got to be tragic. So unfortunate, and like I said, rumors, don't know if that's true. Regardless, the young lady is not here.
Very sad though, man.
Yeah.
So, but didn't want to just jump all around. But we'd be remiss if we didn't at least, talk about that amongst all the things we typically would get into in pop culture, though, man. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very sad. But this weekend, though, man, I think I'm not doing much. I'm packing away. That's it, though, bro.
Yeah. I think me and the fam just gonna check out Spider-Man sometime this weekend, and that's about it. So, yep.
That's all good, though, man. Well, listen, though, man, we appreciate y'all. Listen, shout out to my brother Chad checking in also, man, on the comments, though, man. Appreciate you as always. And shout out to you for if you go back and watch this, be sure to drop the comments, though. But other than that, though, man, Slash Brothers, we out here.
Yeah, bro.
everybody doing on TikTok.
The greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers podcast. The greatest podcast.
Can you dig it,
sucker?
sucker?